Anyway, can you hear me through this?
Yeah. You can now.
It takes a second to warm up.
All right. First of all, I want to thank everyone for coming out, because this is an issue, whether this dies tonight, this issue isn't going away. And as the member from the Board of Health said, there will be a lawsuit in the future regarding this. And what we're essentially trying to do here is there's an opportunity for some subsidized money. And what it's doing is it's got this room filled, so now everyone in this room has some concerns about it and hopefully is going to pay attention. Now, how is the lawsuit going to take place? And I talked about this last week. A guy, Brian Howes, from Southeastern Massachusetts University, has been hired to go forward and get the total maximum daily loads of nitrogen per embayment. Last week, I said to people, the meeting's being canceled. Next week we're going to come. Let's have an intelligent discussion. And I'll be honest with you, I'm from Katuitt, the western part of the town. But the situation is, I've read the Papaneset Bay study in full. I've read the Three Bays study in full. But because we were voting on Stewarts Creek, I hadn't even looked at that. So I got on there today, and it's hard to read the whole thing. A, because I'm not a scientist. But I did read the executive summary, and it's interesting. The Lewis Bay system total reduction that's required to be reduced is 26.9%. And what they do is they actually break that down into different embayments. They have Lewis Bay, that needs to be reduced 68%. Uncle Robert's Cove is 0.0, so it's right where it should be. Mill Creek needs to be reduced 72.9%. Hyannis Inner Harbor has to be reduced 41.5%. And here's the ironic thing. The only two creeks that I've been able to look at in all of these Southside Mass Estuary studies, one is Snows Creek, and that is actually in the positive, meaning it can take more nutrients by 7.4%. The next one down after that is Stewarts Creek, which has a plus 6.7, meaning for Stewarts Creek, and this is, as far as I'm concerned, the Bible as to how we should be doing our wastewater management plan. Our present watershed load is 38.992 kilograms a day. The target threshold that we're trying to reduce the nitrogen to is 41.605. So we're actually doing okay in Stewarts Creek. And this is what I'm suggesting again. And for all you folks out there, this is right here in black and white. I'm going to suggest that you can't read the whole document. It's tough to get through unless you're a scientist. But for each estuary, read the executive summary. And in the back, it will show. Now, if you take a look at some of the other areas, here is the Papaneset Bay. The total amount of nitrogen that must be reduced out of Papaneset Bay is 59%. For the Three Bays, it's 46.3% that needs to be removed. We're putting a sewer project in a place that's healthy as far as this study goes. And if I'm wrong, which I am, challenge you to argue with this study. Everyone is talking about the Mass Bay Estuary study. No one has read it, because anyone who had read it would have looked at these figures and seen again. Stewarts Creek can handle 6.7% more nitrogen for a daily load. And let me just say something else. Everyone up here is here, we're trying to do our best. Now, my personal opinion, which, as the gentleman had stated earlier, we're here to represent people. We're here to make the right decisions. Sewers need to happen down here, because when the lawsuit comes, and it will come under the Clean Waters Act, and I urge people to Google Mass Estuaries, Google the Clean Waters Act, take a look at what happened up in Boston with the MWRA. It's going to happen. Also, take a look at the the legal fund? I always say Conservation Law Foundation, and they're one of the groups that's already having meetings. They had they had two in Katuitt. They had one in Katuitt and one at the college this spring. It's going to happen. And when it does, it's going to be more expensive. What we've tried to do as a board here, we have an opportunity to get free money.